Hey Gabe, Ted Johnson here. I thought what I would do is I'd put together just a quick little video for you to take a look at. The reason is that you've been hard to reach, and I want to make sure that I get this to you in regards to some things that I found on your site, and just pointing out some issues that you're kind of having with it right now, and also just give you some ideas of maybe what can be done to fix it. Um, in the email that I'm sending you with this video, there's a copy of the PDF report, and this is the report that I put together as I was doing an analyzation of your site of just things that are extremely important to have on websites now. And so without further ado, I'm not going to keep this on the page or go through it item by item, but I'm going to use it as a reference as I show you some things on the screen. So I'm going to go and take a look at your website real quick, and there it is. And in regards to the website, and the website's aesthetically appealing, there are some issues that you have in regards to something called Flash. Now, your site, if the computer that is looking at it has the ability to do it, they can look at the site in what they call the Flash side of things. Flash is a type of development tool that Adobe put together, maybe 10 or 12 years ago now. Now, Adobe has recently announced in the last year that it is going to be non-supporting Flash type sites in the next 18 months. And so they will not be supporting it any longer. The industry itself is getting away from Flash because it is just not keeping up with the new techniques that are going on in regards to finding sites when people are searching for them and that sort of thing. And Flash really doesn't have that ability to put your website in a state that it can be found out there. And so you actually have this non-Flash site and this Flash site that are going on at the same time, and mainly Apple devices, which is about 30% of the market now, cannot find it. And so I just went through a 20-point analysis in regards to you'll see on the report that I sent you. The first one is, do you have a unique selling proposition? Meaning, do you have a unique product or service or opportunity that you're providing? And you do. I mean, you have the ranch and the cattle operation, hunting and fishing and that sort of thing, and it makes you rather unique in the marketplace. Does your website pass the eye test? Well, the eye test is something that Google did, and it's a little tool that you can actually get for a site. And what they're looking for are photos or stimuli, if you may, that comes up that talks about what people are looking for when they're coming to the site. So if I was coming to your site because I was looking to go fishing, I'm not seeing pictures of fish, dead fish, kids, people standing with fish, holding them, and that sort of thing. And that should be in what they call above the fold. It should be right here on the top of the screen, and that should be the prominent feature in that. Is your site indexed in the search engines? You'll see that in a second that it's not. Is it structured correctly to be on the first page of Google? No. Are you using long tail keywords is another question, and you actually are. You're getting some ranking on long tail keywords, but it's like on the 8th and 9th page. You're not getting any activity from it, but it is ranking accordingly. Is the flow of the home page set up correctly? It really isn't. To encourage people to give you a call, there's a different way that you can set that up. Does your page have a single focus? I would say it does. I don't know if you're using analytic programs. It'd be interesting to see how much traffic that you're getting to the site if there was analytics on it. Are the internet links active and working correctly? No, they're not. Does the website pass the Google mobile friendly test? And I'm going to jump away from your site real quick, and I'm going to go to the Google mobile friendly test. And this is a website that is put up by Google to test websites to see if they're mobile friendly. So what you do is you put your website into this little white box, and you hit run test, what I just did, and now it's looking at the site and determining that if the site is considered by Google as mobile friendly. If it is, that's a big deal, because Google will send you a lot more traffic if it is mobile friendly. If it's not, which your site is not, because it's using the kind of an antiquated way of putting it together, then Google is actually holding back on a tremendous amount of traffic to your website, because they don't want to present it to somebody on a mobile device, because it wouldn't have an appealing look to it. And Google came up with this mobile friendly criterion about 18 months ago. And they're restricting a tremendous amount of traffic, especially in our industry, the fishing and hunting industry, because 70% of all traffic that now comes to a website is coming in on a mobile device. And since Google determines that your site is not mobile friendly, they're not presenting it to hundreds, if not thousands, of people a year, which if it was mobile friendly, they would. And so that's the one of the big things also, along with that flash, it sort of goes together, that it needs to be looked into, and I would say immediately, because you are losing business because of that. Does your website pass the Google Mobile Friendly test? No, it doesn't. Does your contact page collect customers' information? I don't see that at all. Are you using a favicon, which is a way of identifying the website in the indexing and that sort of thing? You're not using a favicon. Do you use multiple online strategies to drive traffic? I can't really tell that. I don't know if you're doing any AdWords or advertising on the internet along with your website. I don't think so, but I could be wrong. Do you use an automated follow-up system? It doesn't look like the automated follow-up system has been set up. Do you have I can't turn down this offer when people come to the site? Well, the site is interesting, and it would appeal to me, I guess, because you've got fishing and hunting, and I can talk to you about dove hunting, and I can talk to you maybe about whitetail hunting and fishing and all the other good things that you do, and so it does have that appeal to it. Does the site take advantage of a blog? A blog is like hunting reports, fishing reports. It's sort of like a Facebook posting on the website, and it really doesn't do that. And is Google Business page set up correctly? And I'm going to jump over to Google Business real quick. And when you do a search anymore, you'll look and you'll see that these maps will come up when a search is done. And then underneath that map, let's see if I can find it. Maybe I jumped out of it. Let's come back here. Yeah, it disappeared, it looks like. Anyway, your Google Business page is not set up. You'll see that in the report. And the Google Business page is really, really important to have anymore. For instance, if I went to Google Maps and I just clicked it here, it should bring this up. And I'm going to say open it. And it will bring up a map real quick. And these, it's going to my... I'm doing this on a big iPad thing. Let me just jump out of that. Going back here. Sorry about that. But anyway, it does not is set up for Google Business, which you're not showing in those map categories at all either. And so if I looked at your site, the three big things that you have is that you're not mobile friendly, that operating system or the development system called Flash is really hindering you there because it's keeping you from being mobile friendly, it's keeping a tremendous amount of traffic from you, and it's not indexing you on the internet. If I go to a system and I pull up your website and ask the website, this is a ranking system, what keywords you're ranking for, I get a list of, it looks like there's 7 here. And if you look at it, says Corpus Christi fishing 91 and then a down arrow and 31. 91 means that you have a ranking of 91, meaning you're the 91st listing on the internet if somebody types in Corpus Christi fly fishing. Well, that means you're on the 10th page, because there are 10 different businesses on each one of the pages, and so even though you're ranking, you're way back in the ranks and really not being seen. Very, very, very few people will go that far back and take a look. You're also ranking on something called Pro Guide Direct, which I think is a defunct retailer that worked with guides for a while. That's hurting you because their site is down now. Hunting ranches near Corpus Christi, you're in the 58th position. That would be the 6th page. Guided fishing trips in Corpus Christi, you're on the 8th page in the 73rd position. South Texas dove hunting, you're the 93rd position at that point, so that'd be on the 10th page. Quail hunting in Texas, you're also on the 10th page. And the South Texas bird hunting, you're on the 9th page. And so your site, because of this use of Flash, and it's not indexing correctly, really nobody is finding you when they're doing searches like this on the internet. And so it's extremely important that if you want your website to contribute to your activity and your bookings, that these types of things need to be addressed. Anyway, I just wanted to show this to you, give you a little explanation of what I found. You can look at the report yourself. I'll put my hat in the ring and say, I can fix this for you. It's sort of like when somebody goes out on your boat with a bait casting reel and they say, oh yeah, no problem, I can cast this thing, and they cast it and they don't throttle the spool back with their thumb, and what happens, they get a bird nest. It doesn't mean that the rod's bad, doesn't mean that the line is bad or the reel is bad, but just the way it's being used, the rod really is useless at this point until you fix this bird nest. Well, basically you've got a bird's nest, my friend, and these components need to talk together in order for you to compete in this kind of new web world that is out there. And I'd love to talk to you about how we can do that affordably for you and get you back, to probably the place where you wanted to be when you had this website set up. So anyway, without further ado, I'll let you go, but thanks much for listening. Thanks again, Gabe.